Tracy, and I'm a certified professional dog trainer and behavior consultant from Utah. I'm excited to be here. I need to start the chat. So, when you jump on, please give me your name and where you're from, either state or country, and that will enter you into the drawing that we'll do about 6:30. Tonight, we are going to give away a long line. That's what somebody wanted from last week. So we are going to give away a long line. Um, really, we'll give you a choice. You can either have a long line or you can have a bag of treats if you already have a long line, but you can never have too many. I have probably 6 or 7 in my car. So, yes, I love them. Okay, so in looking over the some of the questions, Nikki had a question about puppy biting, so I'm going to answer that. And also, jumping up and biting for treats. So I'll talk about both. For biting, I use a 3-strike bite rule. And what that means is the first time your puppy bites, redirect to a toy. So you can say like, "Oh, we don't bite." You don't need to yell or yelp or anything like that, but just putting your hands up and then giving the dog a toy. Hi, Catherine. Giving the dog a toy. Then you can interact with your dog with the toy. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. Okay. So if your dog doesn't want the toy and goes back to biting you, then you want to calmly take the puppy and put them in a crate with a toy for 1 minute. So it's kind of like a timeout, but it's not a punishment. And so what you want to do is make sure you put a toy in there with them so it's not viewed as a punishment, and just give them 1 minute to like decompress, because sometimes dogs are just overstimulated and biting. Okay, so 3 people. Hello from Derby City. I need your name. And I'm assuming one of these is Renee with Brian, since I see Brian on here. Sometimes names come through, and sometimes it just says Facebook user. So make sure you give me your name as well so that you get entered into the drawing. And again, for you guys that just joined, we're going to give away a long line, and right now I'm talking about puppy biting. So strike 2 is you put the puppy in a crate for 1 minute. Let him out, and if they bite a third time, Shireen. Okay, I didn't know where Derby City was. Okay. Kentucky. So strike 3 is where you put them back in the crate with a toy, cover the crate, and they get a nap. So if they're still biting after 3 tries, it's probably because they are over aroused, overly excited, and they need a nap. So, hey, Dylan. Okay, I got Renee from Maryland. Oh, the Derby, like the Kentucky Derby. Okay, Dylan. And Dylan, you're from Virginia. right? I remember you're in the same state as my brother. Um, okay, and whoever said hello from Richmond, with the two 7-month-old puppies, I need your name. Renee Miller, I got you from Louisiana. Um, yeah, if you've been on here, like if you're on here every week, I kind of learn where you're from. So then I just need your name, but I can like look back and see where you're from. Okay, so that is the 3 strike bite rule. Oh, Shelly Snelling. Okay. Okay. Um, Hi Lisa. Lisa, where are you from? Just state or country. Okay, so does anybody have any questions about biting? Um, oh, Nicole, yours did not show up. And happy birthday, Nicole. It's Nicole's birthday today. She's joining our live Q&A on her birthday. So that's awesome. Hopefully you'll win the drawing, but I can't guarantee that, of course. Robin from Wisconsin. I love that so many people are joining. So the other thing to remember is you have like the 3 bites. So redirect a toy, 1 minute timeout in a crate, and then a nap in the crate. We always want to try to catch our dogs doing things we like. So if you're interacting with your dog and they're not biting, I would reward for that. Like if they're playing appropriately, then you can say, "Oh, good dog, good girl, good boy, whatever." Give them a treat because behavior that is reinforced is going to continue. Also, the biting is totally normal. That's how dogs learn bite inhibition. That's how they play with other dogs. So it is really, really normal. So, um, the same person that asked about the puppy biting said that when she goes to give the treat, the puppy like jumps up and tries to bite. So what I do is impulse control. So I ask the dog to sit and wait. So if the dog's jumping up, then I would turn my back, walk away, ignore, but then ask the dog to sit. Because if the dog is sitting, the dog's not jumping. Okay. Can't do both at the same time. Can't sit and jump. So ask your dog to sit and then treat when your dog is sitting. Okay. So just think about, what do I want my dog to do instead? So instead of jumping, sitting. So think of something that's incompatible. So jumping and sitting are incompatible with each other. So let's see. Okay, let me answer Brian's question, then I'll come down. Oh, Melody from Florida. I need to write you there. I need to write you down. Okay, Peyton goes over threshold and zooms. That's when she nips and growls at me. So I would maybe try, if you can, try to keep her below threshold. So what is causing Peyton to go over threshold? Like if she's going, I like to use a flirt pole to teach impulse control, because they have to sit and wait. And then after they chase and grab the toy and all of that, then they drop it. And then I have them calm down and sit and wait again before they get the toy again. So maybe doing stuff like that. Oh, potty time. Maybe taking Peyton out on a leash So if it happens during potty time, I would take Peyton out and walk around and say, go potty, but without giving the freedom of being able to zoom and run and then nip and growl. Does that make sense? So just like not allowing that behavior to happen by limiting freedom with the leash. Um, that's what I would do. Um, okay, not necessarily biting, but Moose goes for ponytails. Um, yes, that's what I would do is take him away from that person or have a good leave it. Um, and maybe like if you're talking to somebody, maybe do a downstay so he can't reach it. I don't think so. I have long hair, like this is my ponytail. I usually keep it um, out of the way. But yeah, he could think of it as a tug toy. He could think of it as something fun to grab. Um, but yeah, that's what I would just, say like, let's go, um, and keep him away, or teach a really good leave it. And when your dog leaves it, make sure you give a reward that's better. So, um, your dog, the dog may really really want to pull on that ponytail, but if you say leave it and the dog leaves it, then they get a salmon treat or something like that. So we always want to give something of equal or higher value when we're doing leave it. I give a higher value. So to the dog, it's like, ooh, I really want to grab that ponytail, but if I leave it, I'm going to get something better, which is salmon or whatever. I mean, the dog gets to choose what is reinforcing. So today I worked with a couple of clients who both use e-collars, and they said, "Hi, Robin. Did I already get? Yeah, Robin, I got you. Unless there's two Robins from Wisconsin. If there is, then I'm going to need last names. Um, so both use e-collars, which I think I talked them out of using them. Um, but they said, well, we only use the beep and we only use the vibrate. Well, the learner gets to decide what is aversive, the same as they get to decide what is reinforcing. So if a dog like doesn't like salmon treats, which is very, very rare, then you can't use that as a reinforcer, or it won't be a reinforcer. If the learner, so if the dog finds the beep or the vibrate aversive, meaning does it cause fear or pain? Does it cause intimidation? Does it cause the dog to shut down? Then it's aversive. And then I wouldn't use it. Let's see. He doesn't do it when I'm just talking to someone. It's when they try to play or pet him. His leave it hasn't been working in that situation, but his recall does. Um, yeah, so I would do that. And then if he starts to bite ponytails, have them stop. Like have them stand up, fold their arms, and not pet him, not play with him, and just kind of ignore. Um, they could also play with a tug toy. So if you have a toy with you, have them play tug, because then something else is in the dog's mouth and they're not going to jump up for um, the ponytail. You can also teach like hand targeting, which is just the dog like touching your hand with their nose, and let that be a greeting. So it's like, this is how my dog says hi. Put your hand out and say touch. You'd have to teach that, but then let your dog do touch and then get a treat or something for just touching rather than like petting. Um, let's see. I have the same problem with the nipping. I do the 3, but she barks the whole time she's in the crate. Do I let her out even with the barking? So after 1 minute, I don't like to let dogs out when they're barking, because then that reinforces the barking. So what I do is I wait for even 1 second of quiet because most dogs will be like bark, 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 bark. Take a breath. And so I wait for that breath when there is just a second of silence and before they bark again. And then I say, oh, good dog, good job. And then I let them out. So I've noticed even with the dogs that stay here, when I have dogs stay here, a lot of them like will bark in the crate. But if I just wait, and usually I'm around the corner so they can't see me. And as soon as they're quiet for like 1 second, then I will go back in and say, oh, good dog, good job, and open the crate. So that's what I would do. So even if the dog's like in there for a little over a minute, like that's totally fine. So how to leash train when resisting walking on leash. Okay, that's a good question. So if a dog doesn't want to walk on leash, I will use hand targeting. So like putting your hand right in front and doing touch. So they move forward to touch your hand, forward, touch your hand. It kind of gives them a job and it gives them something else to think about while they're walking. The other thing I will do is just drop treats right in front of them. Make sure it's something that the dog really wants, like hot dogs or salmon treats. My I personally order more salmon treats than any other flavor because I use them a lot. I work a lot with aggressive, reactive, shy, fearful dogs, and so I have to use something really, really high value. Like today, I worked with a dog that wanted to bite me the whole 2 hours I was there. So I was trying to create that positive association with stranger equals treat. So I was using salmon treats. Um, so I use that the most. I think I've only met one or two dogs that are not food motivated. Um, and then my second is usually rabbit or beef liver. I need to try the new ones though. I know my dogs will love the blueberry and stuff, so I need to try those. But yes, so drop something on the ground, like just a little bit. Let's see, let me get my little dog. So if this is my dog not wanting to walk on leash, I would drop the treat about right here. So they have to go grab the treat, and then I would drop another one, go grab the treat. Um, and then you can start to spread out. Hi, Willie. Then you can start to spread out the treat. So you could drop one, take 3 steps, drop one, take 3 steps. When I worked in rescue, there are a lot of dogs that did not want to go like through a door, like doorway, threshold, anything like that. And so how instead of like pulling them through and forcing them to do it, we don't ever want to do that. I would drop treats and make a little, I call it my Hansel and Gretel trail. So I drop the treats and um, let them like follow the treats through the threshold. And once they go through like once or twice, then they realize that it's no big deal. So they go through. Um, so that's what I would do is just drop treats or do the hand targeting. Another thing you can do, let's see, my treat bag is outside. This is my other one. So they make a thing called a target stick. You can get them from Amazon. Pretty sure that Pupford doesn't sell them because they're like a training tool. But if you have a small dog and you don't want to like bend over to do hand targeting, it's like let's see if I have one in here. I probably don't. I think mine are out in the car. But they extend and it's like a stick. This is a pen, but it pulls out and there's like a little ball on the end. And if you teach hand targeting or touch, you can also have the dog touch the ball on the end. And then this is easier to put down in front of the dog. I will put spray cheese on the end, or I will dip it in peanut butter. And then I will put it, so we'll pretend like this is the ball on the end. So as I'm walking, I'll put it right in front of the dog's nose and let him lick the peanut butter as we're walking. So that's a good way to teach leash manners and kind of staying with you, but it will also, help a dog to move forward. And okay, so he's pretty good at hand targeting. Yeah, I would use that. Um, so let me know if you have any questions on that. North Carolina, this must be Lynn, right? Because you won the flirt poll last week. I was going to demo one today, and then I had somebody ask about the biting, so we did that instead. I can demo it next week if you want. Or, Lynn, if you want to email me, I can send you a video on how to do it. If you get on YouTube, there's lots of videos on how to do a flirt poll. So let's see. Any tips for getting attention when walking at the park? My 11-month-old golden retriever pulls me and wants to pull towards other dogs, ignores me, doesn't take treats, but will play tug and fetch. Tug and fetch don't help me do a calm walk with lots of sniffs. Okay, that is a good one. Click stick. That's the one that I use too. I mean, I have a couple different ones, but click stick is exactly it. Okay, so going back, remember that when you practice at home, that's like preschool. At a park, that's probably more like high school. So, and dogs don't generalize. So just because a dog does something at home doesn't mean they're going to do it at the park. I have the same issue with my dog. Like, she is right on at home, but the second we're like at puppy class, and I practice stuff with her, I teach puppy class at a doggy daycare. So even though the dogs have gone home, it smells like dogs, and there's so many smells that she can't focus. So what I do is, are you keeping your dog on a leash? So a couple things I do is I will use higher value treats in a new place. So I might use little pieces of hot dog or cheese or something like that that my dog really, really likes. And I'll just show her that I have that. And then the other thing I do is to teach a sit and a wait. So if your dog starts pulling towards another dog or a person, change direction and go the other way. So that pulling results in getting farther away from what the dog wants to say hi to. And you can kind of do a big circle. So if you're walking, whoa, just dropped my dog. So if you're walking and your dog starts pulling, just turn around, take maybe 5 steps, and then turn back, and then ask your dog to sit and wait. So showing impulse control. If your dog just starts pulling again, you turn around and go the other way. But then ask for a sit and a wait. And with puppies, I only ask them to wait like 1 to 2 seconds. If they can wait, then I'll say, go say hi. And then I'll allow the dog to go say hi. So it's, again, Premack principle. We also call it grandma's law, which is if you eat your vegetables, you get dessert. So for the dog, if you sit and wait, or if you show calm behavior, then you get to go say hi. Because not everybody and not every dog will love somebody rushing up to it. So while you're sitting and waiting, you can ask the person, like, can my dog come and say hi? I have two really good friends that are terrified of dogs. And so they would be the ones to say, nope, I don't really like dogs. And then, um, then I would give your dog a treat for sitting and waiting, um, but it's not going to result in them saying hi. Some people might say my dog's aggressive or my dog's not friendly. And so in that case, you definitely would not want to um, let your dog, go up and just say hi. One of my dogs will actually growl at dogs that rush up to her face. She doesn't like that. She's never bitten a dog, but she will growl. And so, sometimes you want to kind of let the dogs meet, in a curve and let them sniff genitals and like the way that dogs say hi. Um, yeah, so that is totally normal to walk really good at home in somebody's yard that the dog is really familiar with. But the more distractions you have, and if it's a new area, dogs are more likely to pull. So you could do the same thing that I recommended for the dog that resists and drop the treats. So use something really high value, drop treats right in front of your dog just to get them to slow down, nose to ground, and do that. And then I would still ask the dog to sit and wait. So we do that in my intermediate class where the dog has to sit and wait while somebody comes up and says, "Hi, how are you? Can I pet your dog?" If the dog moves, the person steps back and the dog doesn't say hi. If they sit and wait, then we say, "Yeah, you can pet our dog." And then the person pets them. And so then they get rewarded for sitting and waiting. I know that Pupford has um, an impulse control course, and I actually bought it to go through it, and I haven't yet, but I need to. But that might be really good. So, for dogs that are pulling and want what they want now, just teaching impulse control, like wait and stay, um, things like that, will be really, really helpful. Um, we walk on a 5. Is that like, I'm assuming that's 5M, long lead or normal lead in the park? Um, yes. Willie, what are you barking at? He's barking at the broom. I have no idea why. Hey, grab your toy. Get your toy. Um, yes, I use a long lead as well when I'm walking, just to let the dogs sniff and explore. And like sniffing is good, exploring is good, but as long as they're not pulling me. If you're coming up to another dog, hey Willie, that's enough. If you're coming up to a person or another dog, then I would bring the leash in and ask for the sit and wait. And then if the dog waits and the person says it's okay, then you can go ahead and let out some slack and let your dog go. I'm going to get him his toy. Dude, it's right here. He didn't want to get his ball because it was too close to the broom and he doesn't like the broom. So yes, I am all for long leads. I think they're great. And with the longer one, you can, make it shorter, and then let some out so that they can go say hi. At what age do you wean pup from 3 meals a day to 2? 6 months. I would ask your vet because I've I do a lot of puppy board and train, and some, at 4 to 6 months are still eating 3 meals a day. I've had dogs at my house that are like 11 months that still eat 3 meals a day. So It kind of depends on the breed, and I had when I started fostering Willie, he was 8 months old, and I just fed him twice a day. So, if you have a 6 month old, you could definitely do twice a day. You could start twice a day, but I would ask your vet first and just see what they say. My dog Maddie would absolutely love it if I fed her 3 meals a day because she's always hungry and she thinks my lip gloss is food. It just look. She thinks everything is food, or she's hoping everything is food. The other day, so yesterday, I was out cleaning the poop from all winter, which I filled 2 big garbage sacks full. It was such a chore. Um, and then I had to run uptown really quick, and I accidentally left the baby gate open. That goes into the kitchen. And when I got back, I walked in, and I'm like, oh no! So she'd opened 2 cupboards, and luckily she only grabbed 1 bag of treats. She's done 6 before, but yeah, she took it outside and ate the whole bag of treats. And like tore the bag up so it was all over the lawn that I had just cleaned and picked up everything from all winter. So I had to pick that up. But yeah, that's the joys of having a dog that was on prednisone and now she thinks she's hungry all the time. So, Facebook user that says same here. I'm not sure we will change. Are you talking about feeding like mealtime? Like there's nothing wrong with feeding 3 times a day other than it's if you work or if it's not convenient. Most dogs eat twice a day. If you do 3 times, I would make the meals smaller so your dog is not overweight. Um, yeah, click stick. That's the one I have is the purple one. 5 meter. That's what I was trying to think of as meter. Let's see. For Wilma and Moose, I would at times take to the park without planning to walk, but just sit at a bench and let them acclimate. Yeah, that's great. In fact, we do that a lot with like reactive dogs. We'll go to a dog park, but we won't actually go in. We'll just go to a bench or somewhere, and we'll just play the look at that, the engage disengage game, and just let the dog like get used to it. They get treats for just looking at another dog, but not pulling, not barking, things like that. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to answer this one, and then I'll do a drawing, and then if there's more questions, I will answer those. This is perfect because we've been talking about a long line, and we're going to give one away tonight. Let's see. Will taking a dog to Home Depot benefit socially when they still want to jump up on people? Yes. Let's see. When they still want to jump up on people, just letting them see people, but not necessarily interacting. I can't get this behavior much better. I'm considering sending her to a professional trainer. So, just as a precaution, if you send your dog away to a trainer, a lot of boot camps, like the ones that are called boot camps or board and train, a lot of those use aversive. So they use like e-collars and stuff like that. So just be really careful that if you send them to a trainer, that it's somebody that just does positive reinforcement, science-based training and doesn't use aversives. Because that could really hurt your dog. But yes, taking your dog to a Home Depot, and if people come up and say, "Oh, your dog's so cute, can I pet your dog?" Say, "Yep, but wait for her to sit first, and then you can ask your dog to sit, and when she sits, then they can pet her and say hi." Um, if they if your dog jumps, then you can teach an off, say, "Hey, off," and help her off with the leash. Like you don't want to yank, but just like like slowly take her off, and then ask her to sit. So only when she's sitting does she get to say hi. I have to tell people sometimes because I have a dog who loves to jump on people, and it's because everybody lets her, even though I say not to. They say, "Oh, I don't mind. I love dogs," and I have to say, "Well, but I mind," and she's in training. So I will tell people, if they say, "Can I pet her?" I'll say yes, but if she tries to jump, please turn your back and ignore her. And then if she's sitting, then you can say hi. So I have to kind of tell people what I want them to do because I don't want her learning or like keeping up these bad habits. But yes, Home Depot is a great place. And especially because, there are a fair number of dogs that are afraid of men. And Home Depot is a great place to see men in hats, hoodies, sunglasses, all of that. So even if you go and just let your dog look at them and then treat, so it's that classical conditioning, like man equals treat, baseball hat equals treat, hoodie equals treat. Um, so yeah, it's a great way to socialize, and you don't necessarily need to let your dog meet other people, but just let them notice. Um, and yeah, it's a great way to socialize. Okay, I need to put all these in a bowl, and I just need to tear these up. Um, yes, Ace Hardware. I didn't know if Ace was. We have Ace in Utah, but yes, Ace Hardware. We practice in there a lot. Um, Tractor Supplies allow dogs. If you have TJ Maxx, they usually allow dogs. So yeah, practice in some of these places that allow dogs. It's really good. It's really good practice. Okay. So tonight's winner for the long line is Lisa Barnett from Texas. So congratulations, Lisa. Lisa, you are going to email hello@pupford.com and putting it in the chat. And let them know that you won the long line, or if you already have a long line and would rather have a bag of treats, just let them know what kind of treats you want. So, congratulations. And if we don't have any more questions, I can let you guys go and enjoy your evening. But thanks for joining. We will do this again next Tuesday at either 6 or 6:30, again, depending on whether I go to the gym or not. Usually Tuesday is a big work day for me, and so I'm too tired to go to the gym. But I always have good intentions. Like, okay, this week I'm going to go. And then if I have a long day, then I usually don't. Because I also have to come home and take care of my own dogs and stuff like that. So it'll most likely be at 6, but usually 6:30. And yes, thank you. So if you thought this was awesome and liked it, we do this every week, usually Tuesday evening. Um, yes, my snow finally melted yesterday. I actually got out and cleaned up all the poop from the winter, and there was a lot. Oh my gosh, 12 more inches. Yeah, ours is, we've had 2 days of sun and really nice weather. So I've been going out both days and doing yard work, cleaning up all the poop. There was so much, you guys. All winter, my dogs have like gone out the dog door, um, gone potty, and then come right back in. So even though I had it all over the yard, most of it was just right outside the back door. And so I literally took a snow shovel and shoveled it into like 3 different piles and then put it into the bag. But yeah, I filled 2 big garbage bags full of poop. So luckily, it's all cleaned up now. I can mow. Oh yes, my dogs love the sun, and I used to hire out a lot of yard care, but then Like it's a way for me to be out with the dogs, and they like to be out, playing while I'm working. So it works out good. I don't hire it out anymore. I just do it myself. Um, their pool has a hole in it, so the water runs out of it, but it was good for a little bit, and then I have to get them a new pool. Um, but yes, they love to go out and lay in the sun or the shade. I personally like the sun. So yes, our snow's finally gone, but it's only May, and we will probably get more snow before Memorial Day. So it has snowed on Memorial Day before here. So yeah, we probably don't have summer yet, but hopefully. Okay, so you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you guys next week.